Hello everyone. So today we are going to cover another tutorial in React.js series, and today we are going to build a responsive web app that you can see on your screen right now. So this is the overall design of the app, in which there will be stories for users based on various categories. For example, there will be stories on tech, travel, food, and so on and stuff. And whenever a user clicks on one of the category, for let's say food, then the story would get shown to the user like this, and there the stories could be informative, which stories could be latest updates and stuff, and that's the core idea of this app. So we would have stories like this, and on type of the stories the user would get new kind of images with captions, and this is basically a stories based app which we are going to build today. Now coming to the design part, I have a Figma design ready for this app with all the color codes and stuff. So we are going to use that for our designing purposes, and I'm going to share this Figma URL in the video description, from where you can take all the color codes or see all the components in Figma. Other than that, I have also created a board on Trello. So Trello is a task management tool. So whenever software engineers go forth with creating a project like this, they typically divide the entire project into tasks in even industries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the entire project into different tasks, and we are going to complete task one by one so that we have an idea of how the progress is happening in this project. And this will teach you how to manage complicated projects as such. Also, some of my students have mentioned that whenever they go through any kind of tutorials, they are able to code and build a project, but they don't gather enough confidence or enough skills, or the basic, what we can say, the confidence or thing that can help them to build the projects on their own. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just roughly coding all the stuff, what we can do is we can break down the project into tasks like this, and you can go ahead and complete this task on your own, or try to complete them before seeing my approach. For example, let's say there is a task to add Tailwind to the project. Then you can just go ahead and pause the video in between, search for how to install Tailwind to a React.js project, try to install that project, and then resume and see the approach which I am doing. If it is something different than your own approach, then you will learn something new. And if it is not, then at least you will have the confidence that you have the skills, or you know the knowledge of adding Tailwind CSS to a project on your own. So that is how I want you all to create or build this project, so that you have the basic confidence or skill set to build projects like this on your own as well. So coming up to the task in the list, if you want, you can create a account on Trello or Asana or Jira or any kind of task tracking tool, and you can list down all the tasks that you can think of while creating a project like this. So basically, we have a screen of stories feed, then we have a screen for stories, then you can search for all the libraries, all the tools that you need, and you can list down all the tasks on your own. Or you can just see these tasks and just replicate them in Trello board, so that you can follow along with me. Now, without taking any more time into explaining the stuff, let's jump into the coding part. So the first thing, or the first task which we have on Trello, is to set up a new React project and a GitHub repository. So let me just add it into in progress section and come back to VS Code. Now the first command that we need to set up a React project is create React app. You can search how to use create React app to create a project by pausing this video and create a project called, let's say, stories feed app on your own by running the command npx create react app stories feed app. Once you are done with that, now you can pause your video and try to understand how to sync this project with GitHub. Like, let's say you run this command and you create a project like this. So the second task for you all is how to set up this project on GitHub, or push this project on GitHub. So pause this video right now and try it on your own. And from there on, I can just explain how I'm doing it right now. Now, I'm going to go into the repository section of my GitHub account. So if you don't have a GitHub account, please create one and click on this new button in the repositories part. I'm going to give this a name of stories feed app, let's say, and the description will be a web app to show stories related to categories or something like that. Once you are done with that, I'm going to choose a MIT license. The README and Git ignore is already present in our React project, so we don't need to add it. So yeah, and I think we can create a repository. This GitHub by default uses the main branch, but if you go to VS Code and if you try to see which branch this current project is on by running git branch, and you will see that it is on master. The reason for this is because master used to be the default branch in majority of the Git projects previously, but recently GitHub came up with the idea that we shouldn't use master because the name had some issues, and they switched to the main branch. And the issue that will happen is, since I am on master branch here, which is an entirely different branch than main, I cannot push my code directly to this project. So there is an article written by Alexis Moody, and she has written the process to convert your branch from master to main in GitHub. So I am going to share this link in the description as well. So the first command that we need to run to switch from master to main branch is this, which is git branch -m master and main. So I'm going to run this command right now. And now if I run the git branch command, we can see that now the branch has been changed to main. And now this main branch is same as what we have on GitHub as well. So now we can push our code to GitHub. So in order to push our code to GitHub, I am coming to the site tab and clicking on this Git section here. And I'm going to click on remote here on these three dots and click on add remote. Now the add remote requires a URL. So I'm going to click on this code button in my web browser, copy this address and paste it in my VS Code toolbar, and I hit enter. The name of this URL or the remote reference is going to be origin. And with this link is established between my StoriesFeed app on this GitHub website and the StoriesFeed app I have locally. Next thing I can do is I can push this code to the initial code to my project. Before that, let us just check the gitignore file and check that it has all the files which need to be ignored. So node modules is one of the folder which we shouldn't add to GitHub. And then in case of Mac, we shouldn't add dstore folder as well. So all those folders are taken care by the create react app itself when we create a React project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run another command, which is git pull -u origin main, so that I take this license file which is present here into my local project because it is not there. And along with that, I'm going to write a flag which is allow unrelated histories. So this is going to allow me to pull the code. If you want, you can search about this flag on your own and understand what this does. So that is going to be another task that you can do. Now I'm going to pull from the origin, so not push, and hit enter. Let me just remove this -u as well. And so this is merge command is asking me the message for this commit. I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to hit :WQ to exit this terminal. And now as you can see, we have the license file here. With this, the license file which was present here is synced in my project. So now I can go ahead and push my project to the remote branch. So if I click on this sync button here, so this is for syncing. This will push the code automatically. And I'm going to close this for now and hit refresh on my GitHub tab. And now as you can see, I have my project pushed, or the first basic project pushed on my GitHub website. So with this, the first task which we had, which was to create a project in our Trello and set up GitHub repository, is done. Now we are also done with syncing master with the main branch. So let me just push it to done. And the next task that we have is to add Tailwind CSS to our project. So what is Tailwind basically? So Tailwind is a CSS framework which we can use for responsive website design. So as you can see in this app, the website is mobile first. So we are going to use Tailwind to create responsive CSS. And the command to install Tailwind is npm install Tailwind CSS. If you are using npm package manager, you can run that command. But since I am using yarn package manager, I am going to use yarn add Tailwind CSS. So this is going to add Tailwind CSS to my project, which is an npm which we can use to import Tailwind in our project. Once that is done, I'm going to go into my index.js file and I'm going to import Tailwind into my project. So in order to import Tailwind, I'm just going to see where the CSS file is present. So in my node modules folder, it will be added somewhere around here. This is the folder, and as we can see in the dist folder, we have the tailwind.css file which needs to be imported. So I'm going to write import tailwind css slash the dist folder. Within the dist folder, we are going to import tailwind.css file. And with this, we have imported Tailwind into our project. And now we can go ahead and actually start building components for our website. Let me just move this to done. And next we are going to build header for our home page. Now, before we build header from our home page, we need to create a component for this stories field. So this is our home page, right? And we are talking about header, which is present here. So we are going to build this header next. So for that, the first thing which we need to do is we need to create a components folder. So let me just create a components folder here, and I'm going to create a header file, which is header.js. Okay, other than I am not going to use header directly, I am going to create home.js because this is where I'm going to create this entire component into a single file, which is home.js. In that, I'm going to type RFC and hit tab. This is going to add a functional component into my code directly. For this, I am using a VS Code extension, which is I think React something. ES7 Redux extension. So this is the code snippet which I am using to add the React.js snippets. Once I have the functional component ready, within that I am going to create first my header file. So for header, what we are going to do is we are going to create a div with a class name header, and let's just give it a name which is, let's say, stories feed. It's safe. Okay, I think we shouldn't have a semicolon here, and we need circular brackets as well. So after that, we are going to jump into our app.js file. So app.js file is the main file in which all the components need to be added. By default, it is containing all this code. Now, if you want to see what this code contains, you can run the unstart command. This is going to start our project in our browser in some time. I have already opened it. So it will get opened on localhost 3000 port. And once the bundling process is completed, our project will be visible like this. So this is what the default page looks like when we create the project using Create React app. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this entire header part here. My bad. So let me just remove the header section from here. And after that, we are going to remove this logo as well. Now, as you can see, our site is blank. Then we are going to import our header component. So we are going to go into /components folder and our home file. Okay, I keep saying header component is actually home component. Let's just import home component here. And this is going to be import home./components home. As you can see, the text is visible now. The next thing is to actually add a color to this header. So for that, we have a color code we present, which is 9C something. So the first thing which we can do is we can come back to home.js file and pick up this header and add some height to it first. So for height, we can search in Tailwind CSS for height section, and we have all these kinds of height available. From this, I don't think we can use anything because I typically use VW and VH. So I'm going to create a new CSS file here for my home component, which is home.css, and within that I'm going to add header, and I'm going to set its height to 10 VH for now. And the background color we are going to take from our Figma design, and this is the color which I need. So let's just add a background using hash and the color code. Next, we need to import the home.css using import.home.css. And if you come back to our page, our header is now purple in color. Now the stories feed needs to be at the center and also needs to be of color white. So let's create or change the color to white first. So I think we have another attribute in Tailwind for text color. So I need a white color. I'm going to use text white property with my header, and now the color is white. Other than that, I want this to be somewhere around here. For that, I'm going to use flex properties from Tailwind. So we have flex with display flex property, and we need to use flex as such. Then we have justify content. I want it to be at the center, and we have align items as well. So these are the properties which you can use to center your items horizontally and vertically. I'm going to do the item center here as well. It's safe. As you can see, now it is at the center. Since we are using or creating this website for responsive view, I'm going to right click and click on inspect. And I'm going to click on this mobile tab to make a mobile responsive view so that we know how the UI looks. Next thing that we need to do is we need to have a font which we are using here. So this font, if you see here, is Source Sans Pro. Now you can search for this font on Google Fonts website. If you go to Google Fonts, you can search for Source Sans Pro. This is the font which I am going to use. I need the regular font weight, the bold font weight. Yeah, this two will work. I'm going to use the import tag, and this import tag is going in my index.css file. So index.css file is the main file in which all your main code arrives. So we have all these properties for body, right? So I'm going to import my font here. Now in order to use this font, we need to have this font family. So I'm going to copy this font family and add it in my home.css header. Once that is done, I think we can even add it to index.css directly if we want. So we can override this font family and we can have Source Sans Pro as one property. Once that is done, we need to increase the size and we need to make it bold. For that, again, we can go to Tailwind CSS and search for font size. And I think text 3XL should be good enough. Let's just check. So I'm coming into my home.js and adding text 3XL here. This works great. And we need font weight as well. Let's just check if font weight is present. Yes, font weight is present. So I need font bold. And this finishes our header creation part. You could have paused the video in between and built the header on your own if you wanted. If not, then you can pick up this next task, which is creating the circular items for categories. Now, what are we going to do next is we are going to create this circular item. So this individual circular item first, and then move ahead to replicate it next. So if you want, you can pause this video right now and try to create this circular item on your own before you move ahead and see how it is done. So yeah, just try it once. So for creating this circular component, we will have to write or create another function. So let's start off with that. In our React project, I am going to come back to VS Code. Till now we have a header function here. If you notice carefully, this component which you have for this category is going to be repeated a lot of times. So it makes sense to write a separate function for entering this item and then use a map function or some for loop or some iteration to repeat that component again. So in that case, what I am going to do is I am going to create a function before return and name this function render category item. And we are going to write the code for our circular category item here. So let's just add a div. And the first component, if you notice, is a tech. As tech as a sub attribute. So let me just add the text here. And we can add this within another div. So let's just render it like this and check our code. Now we have text printed here, so we can move ahead with creation of this component that we have. Now, if you notice carefully, we have an icon within this component, which is using material icons. So if you search on for material icons on Google Fonts, so let me just clear the code. In the icon section, so this is the material icons section where you can search for material icons library. Now the npm which I am using right now is material design icons. So that is the npm which we are going to use today, this npm. So if you search for material design icons, you will be greeted with this npm package, and we are going to use this one. I'm going to copy this text here, come back to VS Code, kill my running script and run yarn add material design icons. Now, once that is added, we need to search for how to use it. So the last search which I did was how to use material icons in our code, and I found this link on Stack Overflow where they are mentioned to import it like this. So once the material icon is added, we need to add this import script in our index.css again. So let's just open index.css file, and just after our font import, we can add material design icons as well. There are, I think, other ways to import as well material icon, but I haven't found the link anywhere here. If you know where to use it using font.google link, please share in the comments. It would help me as well. So once the material design icon is added, we can run and start again and continue with writing our code for the inner component. Now, in this case, what we have is we first have this outer circle, then an inner circle, and within that there is an icon. So let's create this inner circle first using div and give it a class name of category inner circle. Within that we have our icon. So if we search for, let's say, computer for our first icon, this is the icon which we can use. And let's just copy this as well. And this is basically how we are supposed to use the material icons, by copying this item and adding it here. And instead of cloud updated, we need to add computer. Once that is done, we can see the icon here. Now, outside of this inner circle, we have an external circle as well, right? This gradient one. So let's add a div for the external circle as well. And call it category outer circle. We can copy this category inner circle, come back to home.css since we are using it here, and write some code for inner circle. If we come back to Figma design and click on this inner circle here, so we will get the background color which we can use. Then for width and height, it is around 95 px. So we can assign our width and height to this of 95 pixels, height of 95 px, and background blue color. Hit save. Now we have a circular square. In order to make it a circle, we will have to use border radius property. So when border radius is set to 50%, it changes to circle. Now we need to center this icon here horizontally and vertically. For that, again, we are going to use flex and flex properties basically. So flex, then justify center, which we just saw it some time back, and atom center as well. It's safe, and now the icon is in center. Next thing that we need to do is we need to create the external div, which is using this category outer circle. So let's just copy the category outer circle, and the width and height for this needs to be calculated. So if you click on this circle, it is around 115 px. So let's add a width of 115 px and height of 115 px. Now there is a gradient which we are using here. So if you want to use this gradient present, what you can do is, so you can switch from this design to inspect code, and you will find the property for this border as well. So if you click on these three icons, you will see the linear gradient which we are using, and I think we can get the code for it as well. So this is the code that we need. Let's just copy this code from the borders section, come back to our category outer circle and paste it here. So this is the linear gradient which we are using for the code, and if we come back to our code, as you can see, the border is not displayed correctly. Now I had to search a little bit to get the right properties for this, which was to use background image and borders properties like background origin and background clips. So I just searched for circular linear gradient border CSS, and I came across this gist. Now another task for you all could be to search what background origin is and what background clip is, and how it is able to convert this border radius or this border to circular. That could be a good task. If I get time, I will add it in a separate video for CSS as well in upcoming videos. And now, okay, let me just go back to the gist. We need to use background image instead of background image source here. So let me remove background image. And other than that, we have this border property as well. So instead of border 8px solid, we can use that. And change the border radius as well and check. Okay, other than that, I don't think anything else was required as far as I remember. Let's just check it for some time. I think I had some issue with the server, so I restarted the server and checked the website again, and this time the background is visible properly. So the final properties are width, right, 115 px, border radius of 50%, linear gradient taken from the Figma app, background origin as border radius, background clip as content box, border box. Once you have that, you will have a background radius like this. Now we need to center this app, the inner circle in this outer circle. So for that, we come back to home.js and we write all these properties again. And now it is centered. If we come back to the Figma design, we have some white border as well. So what I am going to do is I am going to add a white border to the inner circle, which is this one. So in case of inner circle, I am going to add a border of, let's say, 2px solid and of white color. I think we can go for 4px. that looks a bit better. And other than that, the font size, if you see here, of the icon is not as much big as that you can see here. So for that, we are going to use Tailwind again, and we are going to use font size property. So I think we can again start from text3 Excel, come back to our home.js and add it to iClass. And I think this size should be good enough. Let's just try with 4 Excel. Yeah, this is much better. So we are going to use this one. Now the next thing that we can do is we can replicate the icon, but before that we have a text below this. So let's add the text as well using a div, and let's add a text which is, let's say, tech. And since this is not centered, we can have a last name here again with the properties flex, and we need a flex call property here, flex column direction basically to have the text below. Other than that, I think the text is bold. So let's just go to the text property, and the font size is around 20 px. So we can have a class here with a name, category, text. So for font weight bold, I think we already have a Tailwind property, which is font bold. Let's just use the pre-existing Tailwind property instead of writing our own. I think this should be good enough for now. I'm not going to add a category text custom class here. And that finishes the first part of our video series, which was to create the header and the circular component. Now we are done with creating a single circular item. Next thing which we can do is we can replicate this 3 times. So let's say we have a categories array with, let's say, 3 categories for now. I'm just going to name them at random. So let's say tech, gaming, and entertainment. If you have a categories array like this, at a and we can use a map function here to render our item. And return this code thrice. So we need to return this as well. So we have 3 items like this. Our next task is to have the icons and the categories from external JSON and to arrange them in a grid fashion. So that is going to be our next task, which is to arrange the categories in a grid. We are going to cover this in the second part of this video. So I'm going to end the first part of this video here because it is already quite long. We will cover the next task which we have here in the second part of our video. Thank you for listening to this video till now, and I hope you are able to implement this code. If you have any doubts, please mention them in the comment section. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for going through the second part and for upcoming tutorials as well. That's it from my end for the part 1. See you in the part 2 of this video. Goodbye and have a nice day, everyone.